Alright, let's get set up. Alright, that should be us live now. Hopefully, anyway.
By delaying every other 16th.
And potentially with some
exactly what
background music.
Is. Yeah, it's not, so it's not like...
Actually get rid of that. Let's, 1 second, just gonna go to the channel, make sure this is actually live. And also, I want to edit some things. Okay, there we go, that's good. Right. How do I also want to adjust some of the settings for the delay, so there isn't as much of a delay here. Let's have a look at the actual dashboard. Today we're going to do some more logo art. As you can see from the screen, we did a couple modifications, mostly to bring the line work up a little bit, and also just kind of learn a bit of Inkscape stuff in the background. So hopefully things won't be as painful today. We can actually do a little bit of modification, particularly shadowing. I want to do a little bit of shadowing today and a little bit of kind of lighter and darker colors and just kind of play around with the composition. Welcome to another episode of Alterra Spoilers. Today we're doing... I've also realized I'm just going to get into speaking every time I type, because why not? I'm going to do some more logo art. More logo art. Do all the logo art. There we go. Alright, I also wanted to adjust the stream manager settings. Let's have a look here. Got information. How do I adjust the actual setting though? Imagine it's in settings. There's stream, maybe it's in moderation settings. Here's the delay button, because there's a delay drop down, right? Well, reads, followers, subscribers. Maybe it's in here. Oh, there's 2 seconds delay, yeah. I'm just going to turn it off for now. Turn back on if it becomes a problem. Alright, let's go back to the channel. Okay, that should be us now. And in theory, there should also be some background noise. Or at least some music in the background. I managed to find a non-copyrighted hype beats list. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay, is everything set up to how we want it? I think that's everything. Probably should have done this before we got started. Nice. Alright. That should be everything set up now. Let's actually do some art. Put this up here, keep an eye on the camera so that way when it blurs we can unblur it. Because for some reason the camera still likes to occasionally blur. I think it's because it's changing between songs. Yeah, let me know if you can start hearing it in a couple seconds. It's also just kind of quiet. There you go. Okay, how's that? Can you start hearing that? Hopefully that means we've got a beat backtrack. Alright, one of the things I wanted to do this, because I realized I wanted this logo to be circular. Mostly because a lot of what I'm going to be using it for is for icon references or for avatar images. So I'm probably just better off going straight. Yeah, we've got some music in the background. So now those dropping by aren't just going to hear a deathly silence. Absolutely not. I want to do background coloration here, and we want to actually turn this into a circle, which I should be able to easily enough to do by just highlighting it and actually adjusting the parameters of it. Things are still going to be a little bit slow just because I've not fully upgraded my system to actually handle everything yet, and my poor old laptop is struggling with everything. It would also help if I unlocked the picture, wouldn't it? We've also, as you've noticed, we have layers now. That was one of the other things I did in the background between videos, is actually learn how to properly layer things. So now we can turn things off and just make them disappear at will. We have the power of godhood in our hands, and we will abuse it. Yes. What was I doing? I was doing... So let's see, here's my next problem, is that while I did learn some skills, I immediately forgot said skills. Oh, hail the layers. How do I circle this? Nope. There's a bar. Let's actually undo that. There's a bar to get the edges. Is it shift? How does one get layers again? Now see, that just turns it. We don't want to turn it. We actually want to slinks into the shadows. Thank you, little deal arts. The space? Ah. Alt. Nope. Apparently that zooms in. You know, this is where we're just gonna go trusty Google. Inkscape tutorials. How the hell do I round it again? Because I've forgotten. You know what? This is just going to be a constant for this channel. This is going to be a learning how to use Inkscape channel. Rounding corners. What the hell is rounding corners? F4, click the rectangle. Oh, god damn it. It's not even the thing, it's the rectangle tool. That explains so much as to why it wasn't working. One of these days, I swear to God. Control F4. Are we sure it's it? No, it is select. What am I talking about? Let's just make a new one. We want to select. We want to go to path and path effects. Corners by clicking on the plus. Add corners. Adjust the size of the corners to the node by dragging the green nodes. So it's the nodes option. Oh, so it is the node, because we want to make a circle. So we just drag the nodes. Oh, that's not a node. Where's the other nodes? Is this one here? Yeah, so we drag that in, and we drag this one around. We should be able to make a circle. Not really a circle, but that's mostly just because we made it from a rectangle. Okay, we'll have to resize it into an actual square. But that one is at least more relatively easy to do. If we just drag it in. Is there an easier way to do this? I guess if we just use the ruler above. So if we go to, because we want it to be an equal height to distance. So if we go to 25 there to, we want it to be nice and rounded. Yeah, we're better off using even numbers and then actually just moving it into place. So let's go to 50, because I can do calculations from 50 quickly enough in my head. And then we can bring this to say, we don't want to do quite 100, so maybe 150 for now. We can enlarge it in a little bit. I mostly just want to get the actual size fine. So that's about 100. So we want this to be 100 on this side as well. Which we bring this down to, say, 50 here. Like I said, I'll bring it up in a second. We want to bring it to 150 if I can actually read the corners. So about 150. God, this is where I really test my eyesight now. I need to enlarge my ruler at some point. That can't be right. Have I got these set to different parameters? Maybe. You know, I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay, what about that? You think that's about a circle? Let's drag this here. Yeah, because see, as you can see here, this is far too large. We need to actually start to fit everything into this. So that'll be our first kind of thing, is just kind of resize everything, get the composition right, and then I'll work on shading. Let me see what the length and width of this is. Oh, yeah. Is this the transformation or the width? Okay, so this is actually the width, right. Yeah, so I can just do it both 200. There we go. That's apparently a circle. Why does it seem longer than it is taller? It's just because it's against a rectangular background. It's probably just because it's against a rectangular background. Okay, so that's everything we want to fit into, right? That's our background there. We'll lock that in place, and we want to... First, let's adjust the flame detail. So we'll unlock the flame and actually move that down, because we want that to fit into it. We don't want to adjust it too much, so we want to keep the relative shape. So I guess the question is of, do we like bring this down to the bottom and then coming up? Or do we want to start it in the big center? Right? Like, do we want this under layer for it? I don't know. Because in theory we can reshape it so that it's a bit more rounder bottom, so it kind of perfectly thingies up. And I guess that would make it look more symmetrical. Would make it look more even. Because, like, what else am I going to put there? Above color, and for those wondering, I'm going to change the green in the background. Don't worry, the green's not staying. It's just there because it's a neutral color. Yeah, I think I do want this to fill up the bottom of it, so let's kind of drag this down. And I'm actually not too worried if it kind of overlaps a little bit, right? Because this will get cut off in most of the things we're using it for anyway. Just make this a nice little round 180. Make the... Is it? Oh, it's got on its side. What if I make this 180 as well? Does that make it look more symmetrical? If I put this down to 170, then put this down to 170. Not bad. Can I get this perfectly kind of just aligned with it? Oh, no. If I got this on Snap? Don't think I do. I don't know what I'd be snapping to. It's entirely possible. Come on. Okay, and I just need to round this. So let's actually bring the node 2 out. And there should be a bottom node, yeah. Let's bring this in a little bit more. You know what? Let's get rid of the crystals. Here we go. Benefits of having a layer. Just so I can... Buff. Object buff. Yeah, see, I don't want that. I accidentally created a duplicate layer. Oh, there's actually multiple duplicates here. Want this nice and smooth there. God, how many nodes are there on this one? Okay, let's do that, because apparently there was multiple nodes. Yeah. Can I just drag all the nodes? Does that have to be one by one? Fascinating. Heck, there's like 3 nodes here. Hoopers bring this down to the line. Now get rid of that. We don't need that load. We don't need this node. Get rid of this node. Let's actually bring this in line. Bring it in line with this horizontal. Let's bring this down now. So it actually matches the layer, and then we can circle it out. Right. Yeah, because we want to bring this down a little bit. I want to extend this out until it perfectly matches the roundness here. Okay, let me see. We probably want to round it off to the right as well. So let's round this off just a little bit more. We want to get a nice smooth bottom there. That's a nice smooth bottom there. Okay, how does this look from a distance? Does that look symmetrical? It's a little bit bumpy, but honestly I'm not too worried about that. We can tidy that up in the finished product. Alright, let's bring this out a little bit. You can see here we've got our nice little grape melon with a little bit of flame detail on it. Not perfectly smooth, but smooth enough that it's not going to bother me. For now. Apparently I cannot do that at the right distance. Why are those my 2 options? Oh. So we got the flame. We've got the A on the flame there. We can see the A is a little bit off, so let's unlock the A. We'll lock the flame there. And let's bring this lettering back in. Oh. Interesting. I unlocked it, right? Yeah. Oh, that's because the sonic lines are still locked too. They're grouped together, so you need to unlock both in order to move them. It just made things easier. Okay, so what do we want? We want to have this pulled over here? Oh, it's because we resized it. Okay, so I need to adjust the lines on this one. Which I guess begs the question of, do we want the flame going all the way to the top? Like, how tall do we want this flame? How prominent is this flame? Because we also want the crystals going around, and we don't want to oversaturate it. So, you know, let's get rid of these for now. Let's just play around with the fire again. Do we want this to go all the way to the top, like this? Do we want a bit of height to it? And if we pull this up just a little bit... Bring it out just a little bit like that. Yeah, what do you think of that? Yeah, it's ever slightly off to left or right, isn't it? So what if we pull this up to shift it over just a tiny bit? Theory should be symmetrical. I think it's just because I placed the Alright, this isn't gonna stop bothering me, so we're gonna have to actually play around with the nodes a bit. Just to make this just a little bit more even. Okay, actually, what about that? So I got a nice smoothness to it. It just feels like it's overlapping it a little bit. It's probably because it is overlapping it a little bit. Why don't we move this just a little bit up? Cleaning it by a little bit. Okay, how's that? Maybe pull this just in just like a little bit. Bring back to the node, bring this down just a little bit. Oop. Just want to bring it down just by a little bit. Actually, can we just make this transparent, just see what it looks like and lines up with the under one? Yeah, let's just make it transparent. Okay, so this one's actually off by just a little bit. You know, we said we'd leave this and tidy it up later. Apparently, I just cannot do that. So we're doing it. Oh, come on. How hard is it to like drag and thingy a line? We want it to be just above that lips. Just in a little bit, kind of go a little bit of a trim. Yeah, there we go, almost there. Bring this a little bit in for just a tiny bit of a trim still. Back out again over here. And then kind of round this off just a little bit. Moving on just a little bit more. Don't overshoot it. Careful, Dantry. It's a little... Still feels a little bit off-colored. Yeah, but from a distance it looks good, so who cares? Okay, let's bring that opacity back up. Actually, do we want this fill? No, we'll change the color. Leave out fill opacity, and then we can change the color layer. Especially because we still need to figure out what the background is. And I'm pretty sure the background we actually want to be... Let me actually change this to like a more darker purple. Red and purple is pretty good. Just because it's what we've chosen for, I guess, the generic Alterra colors. It's what we're going for the Twitch kind of color scheme. And might as well stick with it. Plus, I quite like red and purple. How do we mute the colors? I was going to do color theory just now. Should be able to go purples. I guess blues. Oh, do we have one for purple? Royal. Oh, there we go. Yes, we want this to be a little bit more muted. Just like that. So I think we still want a cold color in the background. Maybe bring it down just a little bit more, maybe a bit more of a lilac. Let's see, what's the Twitch one like? Similar. Maybe just a couple more to the left. Like I said, we know. Yeah, there we go. We can always change it because we also want to put shading on anyway. Alright, there's a background. There's the red. Let's might as well just play around with the red while we're here. Have a look at my reds. Reds. What do we want? We want a little bit lighter. don't want it too light, so let's add a little bit of color to it, right? Because we wanna darken it, but we also need a bit more of a pastel red. These words mean nothing to me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. One of these days I'll learn color theory, it's fine. And more importantly, one of these days I'll learn the actual names of colors. But for now, we're just going to use words we've heard in passing. And wait until somebody calls me out. Not bad, not bad. I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it, and that's a start. I'll deal with liking it when it's closer towards the finished product. Okay, so we've done background, fire. Let's bring back the lettering and see. Where's my lettering? Ah, it's on the psionic line. God damn it. I keep forgetting it's on the psionic line. Let's see. Just because they're joined together. Okay, let's actually bring it back to selection. Let's actually give this smooth this. Okay, what just happened there? The whole point of this is that the lines are supposed to be joined together. Are they already moved here? Ooh, they are. Interesting. What on earth happened here? Why are my lines suddenly all over the place? Okay, we want it to be center, right? So that's the question. How... Because we do want it to be center, but how center do we want to be center? Because it's already off center. And then this isn't exactly center, right? So what would center be? If we go by... So center would be there? A little bit more to the left? Let's keep jumping. It'd actually be down a bit. The problem is I don't actually know if it looks proper center. I want to have it just up just a little bit. Actually, I don't dislike that. How's that? I can play around with the psionic lines a bit. Bring them back into line. Could do another one that kind of brings that leg up. Because I want to have the psionic lines. This is previously what we've had it before I started meddling with everything, right? Is we had the psionic lines kind of overlapping those elemental lines to indicate that kind of connection of while all of these entities are their own things, you know, you have the primordials, you have the psionic network and the ultimed, and you even have kind of the backdrop and the soul and for the A and everything. That they aren't actually unrelated and they do cross over. There is a boundary and kind of a hazy boundary. Where does nature and elementalism start, and where does the idea of nature and elementalism start? Right? Because that's what the psionic network is. That's what the ultim represent, is this thought, imagination, concepts, personification. And when you get getting into the primordial stuff, there is personification. You have the primordial princes and kings and queens. You have the primordial monarchy. But the very idea of personified elements is inherently psionic in a way, or is very, you know, intrinsic to thought and ideas. So there is a lot of overlap. Okay, so let's actually deal with the blue first, just because I want to get my colors corrected now. Or maybe not corrected at least. A little bit more Pascal. Just wanted to see what that looks like. Bit more of a brighter A. Because what does A? Because the A was supposed to represent the kind of radiant and soul aspect of Alterra, in which the soul of a Noid is the catalyst for change. It's mechanical, kind of the stat block for the player. It's their ability to level up and grow, and to explain their ability to take on more powers. Right, and a lot of this is symbolized generally by like soul shards, by crystalline soul energy, and it does kind of have that more glass-like appearance. So should the A be more glass-like rather than a darker blue? Because the darker blue just also has more elemental connotations than a lighter blue does, in my opinion. I don't dislike it, but maybe, and also just kind of maybe closer to like white to symbolize that Alterra is yours, to be like a fresh canvas. I kind of like that idea that it's a fresh canvas, and maybe I don't want it to be pure white, but also I want it to be a little bit. I don't want it to be too bright either. What if I go the other direction? Maybe like that kind of lighter, but with a hint of darkness blue to it. Not bad. I need to figure out how to do like a silvery color for the lines. But let's test that. We can actually lock that in place now. Alright, I need to fix these psionic lines. I need to line them up with what we're seeing here. Let's also save this in case anything happens. Okay, let's draw down into the individual lines. Are these all unconnected yet? No, so I'm gonna have to ungroup them. If they weren't... Why did they shift it? They were still grouped together. Fascinating. I'll figure that out later. Oh, am I doing layers? Where's the grouping mechanism again? No, it should be object. Yeah, it's ungroup. There we go. Yeah, let's hone down on these then. Actually do one line at a time just to make things simpler. I also need to decide how much over the line I want these to be. Do I want them just to be on the... I think they do look better as just the blue and not overlapping this black here. Let's change the node. Let's just... Just make that straighter. Bring it just a little bit. Because we also want it to connect, right? So we want it to kind of... not to be at an angle, so we do need this coming in. And by that I mean I don't want the end to be an angle. I want it to be perpendicular to the black line here. Which means it needs to be at an angle itself to properly connect. How does that look? So we get like really finicky of things. I'll just bring it to this line. This is where my system performance is going to be the biggest pain, isn't it? Yeah. Just straighten this up with the line, and then drag it over the finish line. Line it up, knock it down. What's that? Yeah, this is good enough. I'm not looking for perfection just yet. Oh, interesting, that seems to have just launched this line here. Just stretching it, right? Not moving it. Okay, one line down, just a dozen more to go. So yeah, we've talked to... Okay, I need to move that one first. Come here. Come over here, line. There we go, here's a good line. You just thingy there. Okay, so we'll connect all of these up. And then, what do I want to do after that? I think it goes on to the crystals after that, once we've got... Yeah, because we're essentially doing composition and color right now. Where's my dot for this? Oh, it's just mess. Weird. I got it. Where are you? Oh, I think I've accidentally drawn a new line. Oh, wild. Don't draw a new line. Just connect this line. I guess technically I'll do. Go down to the next line. Or at least zoom out or something, I don't know. Yeah, come over here. Okay, I need to get rid of this note here. Go away. Oh my god. Now what? Okay, unbend that. Kind of bend the inwards. Yeah, there we go. That's better, see? I'm just gonna connect the dots. That's all you're doing, line. You're just connecting the dots. No need to be difficult about this. Just bring that down a little bit. Back up. Okay. Okay, luckily I don't have to do this for all of them. There's only a couple lines that actually overlap that I need to do this to. I don't know why these... I don't think these have split. I don't know why the white there is vanished. That's an interesting one. Oh, I don't want to do a line here as well. And then I've got to do like a line here. I do kind of want to do that though, don't I? So I just like bring this over here, twist it to the other side, not quite that. Oh, is it because it's got filling? God damn it. I think I accidentally gave it filling. How do I... Where's the no filling? Have no filling. That's bear. Because I kind of want to like represent the fact that it's going through the line, so I need to be more like here. And then this would be kind of going around. I might need to put another dot in here. Gonna bring this down just a little bit. Technically, it would be going steeper. I guess I can like pull it back a little bit. I don't think how this actually looks, right? Because I guess so. I mean, I guess all that matters is it looks good from a distance, which I think it does. It's good enough for me for now. I'll put another line there or something. Alright, let's get rid of these fillings. So that way they're actually straight lines. I'll worry about this. I keep saying I'm going to worry about this later and then actually doing it, because let's not worry about layers, let's just do it now. Bring this in a little bit so it's perpendicular. Same with this. Bring it in a little bit so it's perpendicular. Is that a sniffing gap? It's kind of a sniffing gap, isn't it? Yeah, now I just need to bring this down a little bit just so it's actually perpendicular. Bring this in. Make it perpendicular. Got a nice little crisscross going on there. Crisscross. Okay, what about the next lines? Yeah, so this is where I need to figure out, do I want this a line across here? Because I don't really want every line, but do I want every line? I maybe do want every line. Let's do every line like now, because it'll be easier to delete it later. Let's connect up the plugs. Oh, there's another one that's secretly got a fill on it. No fill. bring this one in a little bit as well. Want it perpendicular to the line. And then I want to drag it out a little bit, just so that way it looks cleaner. Bring this down. And then... See, I'm worried that I might... Oh, that's good actually. That might be giving it too much. I guess I can also adjust the curvature of it, because I don't want them to all have like the same curve. Maybe just in just a tiny bit. Come on, just in a little bit. Nope, too far in. Nope, stop. There. Yeah, kind of comes up a little bit, but oh well. I don't want it to have the same curvature each time. But I guess I can actually solve that by just bringing in the line, so that way it's not actually affecting it as much. Just gonna bring that in just a little bit. Yeah, nice. Clear the fill on it. Oh. Whatever I did there, don't do that. What is causing this little gap here? Is it this one? No, it's this one. Interesting. Is it because it goes down a little bit, so it's like a slight... No, must be because it goes down a little bit. Who knows? God, so many of these have fill. Could have sworn I made these without fill. Yeah, let's just get rid of these while I'm not here. Yeah, get rid of all these. Do that. Drag this. Yeah. I don't want to be here forever doing it. Drag this. Pull this in. Just a little bit. There we go. Almost got like a Scottish flag going on here. What you don't realize is that there is a secret hidden Scottish flag in the Alterra logo. As is to be expected. Or clips that a little bit, but so be it. These ones are pretty easy just because I don't actually have to reorient them much. That one's technically. Is that everything on the right? I still need to... Oh yeah, see, that's looking much better. You can actually kind of just about see, and while you'd probably have to look to realize it, it does seem to have a subconscious effect. So I do think it's easier to just correct these now. Yeah, let's go ahead and duplicate this while we're at it. Okay, is that duplicate in the same place? No, I need to do an actual movement, not a... No, it didn't. There we go. And then I can just play around with the actual nodes. So just kind of drag this in a little bit. Don't want it actually overlapping the black line. I just think it looks sleeker that way. Pull it out just a little bit. When in doubt, zoom in. Come on. There we go. Right, to the left side. So that's the right side. Okay, how does that look? Is it too... Yeah, see, this is what I was worried about, is that this would just be kind of too compact or too crowded. You could have it like swinging inwards. Might be a shout. Zoom. Straighten that line up. Okay, how's that? It's a little bit weird. Need to get used to it. But it's not unreasonable. I still don't know if I need another line in that bottom left. See, if I put a line in the bottom left, where am I going to put the line, like, elsewhere? Or I'm going to want to put lines everywhere until eventually you just get nothing but crisscrossing lines. Alright, let's just do the left before I get sidetracked into just adding more lines. Let's get rid of the fill on all of these. I actually got that clipped. Yeah. Because apparently I did a terrible job non-filling these. I think there's fill in this. Interesting that it's not overlapping itself. It's like little noodles. Kind of taking the curve off them a little bit though, aren't I? I guess there's still enough of a curve for it not to matter as much. Oh, that was not the noodle. I need the noodle coming here. I don't know why I'm calling them noodles. I guess because they're noodle shaped. It's about a good enough name to call them. There we go. Just connect up to the wall. A little bit of the wall. Yeah, right, so after these we'll focus on the diamonds next, get the coloration of the diamonds just about right. Yeah, I see that. I'll deal with that later, it's not too big an issue. That's the bottom end of the noodles done, so we just need to fix these parts up here. We'll focus on the diamonds and getting the coloration right. Then once the coloration is, well, we'll get the position and then we'll do coloration. Once the position and coloration is right though, we should have a rough kind of outline. Where's my angle for this one? Just gotta do this as a straight line, you know, because sometimes in magic there is a straight line. Or I guess sometimes in ideas there is logic. I mean, it's actually quite a thing. Nice little stripe across the leg. This line here represents the idea of a straight line. Bring this in. And after we've done the diamond's coloration position, we can then focus on kind of figuring out how to properly shade it. Because I've done a little bit of work with duplications and such for shading. That was a while ago, and as we've seen, anytime I take any form of break from Inkscape, I immediately forget how to do Inkscape. So it'll be a learning experience there too. But alas, that's why I need to put time into Inkscape to learn more Inkscape. And you guys get to come along with me on the adventure. You too get to experience the frustration of learning a new skill, but without actually acquiring the skill. Although if anybody wants to want to play along at home and get some Inkscape on the go and do some art in the background, I'd highly recommend it. You can all learn Inkscape. This could be the Inkscape hour. The Inkscape session. Inkscape tutorial. Well, Inkscape frustration hangout. Yeah, that's what I'll call the next one. Come frustrate with Inkscape with me. Oh, what's with all these like slight humps? Where's my angle line? There it is. Have to have the ideas merge. Oh, see, I kind of like the, kind of want there to be a band on there. It's possible to... No, I don't have another point. I could put another point and just try and get the shape. Although it kind of works there by itself, so I'll leave it for now. What's that? Yeah, because that doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit straight and it's not quite the same thought here, but yeah, so do I also then want lines here? Oh, I kind of do, don't I? See, this is what I mean. Once I start putting lines down, I'm never going to stop. It's going to be line after line. You know, only the right side of the primordials interacts with psionics. The wrong side? I'm sorry. No, it represents a primal intuition without ideas or thoughts or concepts. Yep, that's what I'm going with there. Makes perfect sense. Anybody asks, why do the psionic lines on the left side interact with the psionic or the primordial imagery, but the left side doesn't? I know, it's just because they're not on the right side. And that's all there is to it. I want to bring this in just a little bit more. Is there a line up here? No. It's just these two. Let's bring this up a little bit. And make it perpendicular. And then pull it back down a bit. God damn it. Why am I such... I can't even call myself a perfectionist because I give up halfway, like after enough time. Why must I at least try first? And you know what? It's actually the center line I care about, right? So if I actually match up the center line and then twist it, I think that actually just shortens the amount of time I'm going back and forth. That would make sense. Oh, look how perfectly that's lined up, though. Oh, that's a good lineup. There is zero gap in that line. Okay, the weirdest things excite me on this one. But that's such a good lineup. Look at that. It's so smooth. Look at that lineup. I can't even remember my camera is. Look at that lineup. Gonna rename the session the perfect lineup. Ooh. Where am I going? We've done left, we've done middle. Okay, so I'll fix the last bit over here and then I'll do this left side. Nope, reverse. Reverse, reverse. God, sometimes it's a little bit over ambitious when it comes to his thing. Comes to his movement. How hard is it to do a perpendicular line? A little bit more to the left. I mean, you're literally just lining this line up with this line. It's not hard. You know what? No, it is hard. Anyone who says otherwise, don't listen to them. They're lying. Either that or they're super gifted, in which case they're definitely lying. Not about us being super gifted, just that it's easy. It's easy for them. Doesn't mean it's easy for the rest of us. You know, those of us who are rambling, mad individuals. Perpendicular lines. I lost my mind. This is a very appropriate song right now. Is this copyright free? Weird. I feel like they've just put random songs on. This is definitely going to get copyrighted. But I guess I'll find out if my channel's suspended. Oh, I just can't get it perfect. In theory, that should be it. And you know what, it'll do. See, there we go. It'll do. I'm not a perfectionist. Let's move on. I got other things I want to do. I don't have all day. Gonna have to get to good enough. It's good enough. Connected? No. Don't bring it in too much. Bring it back. Bring it back now, y'all. Oh, is that it? Oh, we do it. Do we do it? I think we did it. Gotta save this so we don't have to do it again. There we go. Never want to do that again. That's it. No, I think the 4 lines interacting with the primordial on the right side is enough. I feel like doing it on the left would be too much, honestly. Maybe it would look nice. Maybe it would be. Can I imagine it? Oh, damn, I think it would look nice. See, this is the problem. It's this weird mix between wanting symmetry and then wanting asymmetry. Like, what do I want more? Alright. We're going to do a version where we quickly do those extra lines on the left side, right? Because we could do one... See, I was thinking about this line here, and honestly, I don't think we need one here. I think just the main lines, right? And then having this one kind of be the background, just because of the shape and the structure of it already. Would still be good enough. We're also coming up on 7 o'clock though, so I might take a quick break every hour. Yeah. Especially as I get into these solo streams where I don't have like the distraction of a campaign or what I'm doing next to focus on. Go get some more. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, it's coming up 7 o'clock. So we're going to take our first break there of probably 2 breaks. We'll see, we might end at 8. We'll see how much logo stuff we have. But there is our logo for now. And you know what? I don't dislike it. I don't dislike it, and that is a step. Oh, it can actually be pretty good if I can get the coloring right. I don't know how I'm going to do the coloring, though. Because that's the thing, though, right? You want the coloring... You know what? I'll talk about this after. No, I'm going to get distracted. Okay. Thank you, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, and we're back. I don't know why I did that either. We're just gonna spend 5 minutes just admiring the logo now. Look, it's a not bad logo, okay? This is my first not bad. This is technically my first art project. It's my first art project in a while. I guess I used to do art. It's my first Alterra related getting back into art project. Yes. And it's a not bad one. Right, so we've got the Alterra, I guess. It's not an alt sphere. Main sphere? I guess it would be main sphere. I don't know how I feel about the name main sphere. Not bad. I don't dislike it. Alright, we've got the purple Alterra main sphere. Because purple now just is synonymous with Alterra. That's just our coloring now. I don't know how it happened, but I don't know. Purple's normally used for like mysticism and magic anyway, and Alterra is pretty heavily magic based. I mean, it's pulp power fantasy. I gotta not be magic based. We've got a bit of fire just because out of all the primordial elements, fire's kind of more domineering one by nature. Right, and also it just is the easiest one for symbology. If you've tried to draw water lines or air, earth, there's only so much you can do. Like a flame is instantly recognizable. We've got the A for the soul of Alterra. The very concept of the divine, the soul engines, the players, the character sheets, the mechanics. And this can represent any sort of mechanics, right? Because we've played D&D as the classic mechanics that are set, or no saying, the classic mechanics we use for Alterra. But we've also done Call of Cthulhu, and technically any other game system works fine in Alterra, since it is pulp fantasy, or pretty much anything that is more geared towards power fantasy or pulp fantasy. That isn't too geared towards gritty, but there are areas where you could do gritty and it would fit the thematics of the setting. Particularly, places like Gildross is heavily kind of resource reliant because it is that kind of northern expired, just vast frozen continent where death stalks the land and liches vie for limited resources. With just few settlements trying to survive in between the chaos. Then we've got our silver lines, or white for now until I can figure out how to probably make them silver. We don't really have a metallic sign, do we? There probably is a way. There's probably a sign somewhere I can figure out there. I'm not too bothered with them being white though right now. We've got our white psionic lines to represent the idea of the psionic network and the old tomb, the ideas and imaginations, thought, sentience, etc. And last but not least, we'll lock this now. It's time to get back to the crystals. The crystals wanna... There we go. Nope. Back to the Arcanite crystals, which I may have to resize now that I've actually kind of shrunken everything down. But let's find out. Let's kind of bring this in just a little bit. At least by one. There we go. See it. No, they're so bright. It's kind of glaring, isn't it? How if I actually unlock my layers? This is the problem with layers. When you're not used to layers, is you suddenly have to get used to layers. Let's bring this down just a little bit so that the point is Yeah, I could swear these are snapping. I'll unlock current layers. What's this one do? Oh, I didn't know that. I could do that. That's cool. I actually familiarize myself with more of these tools. I was going to do them just as I spent time getting used to it. There's like a snap tools up here. Ah, here we go. So that should toggle off to grid. Let's see, is that toggled to on or off? Doesn't actually tell me. We do kind of want this to line up with the flame top, right? Like, how could we not want that? Okay, let's go, but wait to just... Can I just do snapping? Ah! How's that? So just undo it? Can I just put this anywhere now? Is it gonna leave me alone? It does! Thank God. No, I just need to pull this down a little bit. Oh God, see now I gotta perfectly line this up. So it got like a little bit of... It's not perfectly lined up. Ah yeah, it's the little snap behind it. Come on. Don't... It's like the lines of... Why is everything all about just placement? It's been in my existence. How's that? Oh, do we get it? Wait. Yeah, close enough. I'm gonna notice that from a distance then. Well, I don't want to notice that from a distance. How does that look from a distance? Now, all of these have to be kind of in the circle, since that's our border for the actual image, right? We want the icon to be that circle. Which means I'm definitely going to have to resize these. Let's It's not even perfectly even. I can lock it. Fun. If I do that, does that resize it perfectly? Oh my God, it does. Oh, I can keep ratios. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. So happy. I put this as 20. Is 20 a good number? It's good as anything. Okay. Right, so we want 20. I think 20 works. Because we want them to be a little bit of crystals. We want them to be visible. We don't want them to be too large. And I guess we have the crystals pointing to the outer edges. See, I don't know if I want them on the edges. To kind of symbolize, I guess, because the Arcanite is supposed to symbolize the laws of reality. It symbolizes the mechanics themselves. While the kind of... The idea of his soul, or the radiant, celestial, and fiend, and the soul engines, and the A itself represents the players and the characters, the stat blocks, and the mechanics of change, the catalyst of change. The actual Arcanite themselves represent the mechanics of the world, right? They represent the laws of magic, the laws of reality, the laws of nature, the laws of social interaction, I guess. They represent the mechanics in a broader sense, not just how you interact with them. So having them kind of be at the edge and almost like kind of pushing in or outwards, almost like the pillars of the main sphere, could be good symbolism. Guess there's only one to find out. But first, let's change this coloring. Do I want this to be the same color as the red? I think I do for now. Undo that. Cool. kind of gives it like it is just like a tip off the actual flame itself, which I don't dislike either. Because Arcanite has personality and like interaction with it. Because Arcanite represents the laws of reality and the rules of reality, the rules of the larger world. It interacts with not only the soul itself, because it interacts how the soul and the stat block interact with, or the character sheet interacts with the world, but it also does represent, the laws, the primordial kind of elements interact with each other. It represents the rules of how the psionic network operates. It kind of underpins everything, and it's why it's generally considered the neutral faction in most worlds or most alt spheres. Because they are the peacekeepers, or not the peacekeepers, they're kind of the neutral guardians and wardens of the laws of reality, so they try to avoid politicking, which inevitably just kind of makes them the butt of all the kind of faction warfare and desire and goals, because everyone wants to get their hands on controlling the mechanics of the world. And then you have these Arcan Knights, who are the kind of weavers of reality, the weavers of, effectively the weave of the rules and laws of the world, always having to defend their territory or their kind of right to, or the kind of the neutrality of the laws of reality, as everyone else vies for control of those laws. But so while each of the Arcanites is kind of based on a concept, so they interact a lot with the sound network in that they have theoretical concepts and alignments, they also do have primordial alignments, or maybe not so much primordial alignments, but primordial flavorings, depending on the flavor and setting, or the flavor and theme of the setting. So, whereas in the more kind of high magic worlds, like Eros's Akaba, or the multi-planar hub of Copper, or even in Discord, the kind of construct mechanical kind of hyper-progressive society, or hyper-evolutionary society, because progression kind of suggests a more societal viewpoint, whereas they're more technologically advanced. Arcanite has this theoretical kind of adverb concept to them, right? Each of the Arcanites have a kind of adjective or adverb to what they interact with the world. Red, for example, is amplifying. They amplify magic, they amplify effects and spells, they can be used as batteries most of the time, or as a power source, because they are used to power. They are effectively the amplifying and the power Arcanite. Whereas if you get into more, I guess, spiritually aligned, or at least spiritually thematic, or animism, thematic worlds such as Savara, they have more primordial connotations to them. So Red Arcanite would actually be the fire crystal, and they would have connotations of fire and warmth and heat. So depending on the setting you have these different interpretations of the Arcanites based on their coloration. So I do think it's fitting and suits that the Red Arcanite is on top of the flame. I guess similarly, if we move blue to like the center, is that too much? Like the eye. If I bring this actually down to size, and no, the basket grabbing this. Is this the only one I don't want in the center? I also need to kind of line it up. Where's my x-axis? Bring it down to like a 10. I could have this at like center. No. See, the problem there is the A isn't symmetrical. So because the A isn't symmetrical, I don't really want to put the crystal there. Oh well. It was worth a try. Okay, now that I do have it though, let's actually bring it down. I could actually put it on the blue. Was this going up or down? Okay, so I want to bring it down. Right, let's bring it down to 50 or something. Oh wait, no, I want to bring it down to nearly 0, 10, 1, a little bit higher than 1, 2. Who knew this is just actually easier to augment things? Let's have a look here. Let's bring this up just a little bit here. How's that? No, the point is still just a tiny bit off. There you go. Yeah, it works. Okay. Now, we can actually put a message saying, and we're back. And we're back. I just enjoy it. Okay, so with those two, similar with the blue Arcanite, because the blue Arcanite is the nullifying Arcanite. If you go with the technically aligned, or I guess architect aligned worlds, I'm going to call them architect or technologically aligned worlds, represents anti-magic and nullification fields. You also have similar with stuff like the more anima, I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly, worlds where blue represents water and represents cleansing and purifying. So you can kind of see there is these connotations where like amplification and fire very closely aligned thematically, and you have blue, which is nullification or anti-magic, and cleansing and soothing. Right. Okay, let's quickly resize the rest of these, just 20, and then I can recolor them, and then I'll get into placing them. So we'll just go around here, and I do kind of like the idea of them kind of, I'm probably going to angle them so that they look like they're kind of pushing out of the world, or kind of the pillars of the world. Because I think that's pretty good thematically. Which means we'll start with orange and gray. Is that centered? I think it is, but we want to orient it so it's coming in. What's that? Let's actually zoom in. See, now I have to figure out what is actually smooth here. Is that even? I think it's even. Okay, I probably can't be perfectly smooth to red and blue here, but I might as well get it smooth to itself. And then I can just adjust the y-axis. Am I going left or right here? Okay, yeah, going the right direction there. Get used to the coordinate system. Pull that up to, what, 250 maybe? Okay. I was initially going to go 300, so I'm glad I went with 250. Bring up to 2.5, 2.7. What do you think? Maybe that's equal? Or is that just under the line? Just under the line? Yeah. We have a ruler for this reason, Chris. We do, but it require me to actually use it. Okay, we want to desaturate these a little bit here. Do I have an orange tablet? Good gold. Is there a way to find a color palette if I right-click this? What we got here? Transform by No, let's just undo, duplicate, fill shade, object properties. Because if we go to fill and shade, we should be able to open up a wheel, right? We're looking for the fill paint. Yeah, how do we bring down saturation? There's a wheel. Oh, and it opens up the wheel underneath. Oh, I think it was gold. Interesting. See, I also want to be careful with how... like yellow I make this. I think that's mute enough, right? I'm gonna go with yes. Yeah, just make this a little bit kind of lighter. I think that's your classic light gray, right? I think that works. What does this do? There's something else. Alright, let's bring in our four color. Okay, so we got orange and gray, and for the life of me, I can remember which one orange actually is. I get them mixed up with green a lot. It's either focusing or it's disbursement. And you'd think the two would be more... I'm pretty sure it's focusing. So I'm pretty sure green is dispersing because it's connotations of wind. Because again, you have those two different takes on it. I'm gonna look this up. You know you got too much lore when you have to look up the lore you created. Yeah, green is diffusing. Okay. So I think the easiest way to remember that is literally its wind connotations of the wind disperses things. You have this kind of free-flowing and separating and kind of enlarging effect. With green, whereas with orange, you have this more focusing and kind of solidifying presence to it. I already decolored those, didn't I? Yeah. Alright, then let's grab our yellow, and let's give our yellow the old treatment, the turning treatment as well. Okay, what's the best way to do this? How to get the center? I could literally just put it on top of this flame here. I've now got like some sort of crystal tentacle monster. I don't dislike that either, goddammit. Does that actually look okay? Ah, see, it's too close to the red though. Oh, it's tempting. Now, let's actually try and get this kind of in the center and see what it looks like at least first, and then we'll play around with adding it on top of the tentacle. Because it isn't... I don't think it's good thematics, really. Not the grey one, I want pink, don't I? We want this the opposite way. So we almost want it like that. Put it on, what is it, no, it's like 260 or something like that. 230. Oh, it's because it's more in than grey is. I think it's at least got the right shape. I just need to actually bring it in just a tiny bit here, but that should be easy enough to do. I just bring it over bit by bit. Yeah, and I think there we can see it's kind of touching the edge there. And some of this one we actually want to bring it out a little bit, so let's do... maybe not quite that, so maybe add on 2 here. Yeah, it's gonna have to be 5. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so that way it actually looks like it's just touching. Because we don't want it to be overlapping, right? We want to make sure we actually do have that barrier around the main sphere. Let's go to the old color wheel here and kind of dilute it just a little bit. Don't want it to go too green. See, that's the problem. There we go. We don't want it to be neon yellow, but we still want a little bit of color to it. It's similar with the pink. Let's just bring down that kind of saturation a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Again, I have no idea what terminology I'm using or if the terminology is remotely correct, so if anybody out there actually knows any of the terminology, it's like, Chris, that's not what saturation means. Fair point, come and correct me. You too can teach me how that works. What do you think now that we've got... Wait until I get the last two in place, but 50-50 of it so far. Might increase the size, see how that works. See, that kind of overclatters. I think I'd rather have it small and be these little dots of color around the side than worry about it, or kind of having it like be large. Let's do this first. What's the best way to do this? I guess match it off the pink and similar with... I might also just adjust the color, so it might be good to have, for example, red and blue be opposite, and then also have green. And technically it's supposed to be yellow, right? But so we don't have perfect like color wheel going on. Could be green opposite pink, blue red, pink green, orange. Technically these two should be changed, but it's the grey one that's the old one now, right? Anyway, we want this to be the opposite way. So we want this coming kind of in. Like that, I guess. So we want to be reflected in whatever axis that is. X, Y. It's because it's upside down as well. Bring this over. No, I think it needs to be a little bit more rounded. God, how's this one the hardest to get right? There you go. Like that. That should be it if we just throw... We're going down, so let's throw it 50. Yeah. Then we'll light it up in a second. We'll throw this one down to 20. Might as well get this one adjusted correctly. Throw it back up to 30. Especially because I can actually just copy and paste this, I realize, and cheat a little bit. Put up to 31. 31's gonna be too much, I feel. You know what? 31 is perfect. We'll love it. Let's go with that. Similar to you. Go to 31. This is where you find out just how even our sides are. They're just ever so slightly off. Oh well. Okay, well it's not off by that much at least, because 2 is too much. 31.5. I'm just gonna go ahead, lock this for now, come back to this in a minute and lock this. Let's get this goddamn flame decal correct for once. With the nodes. Let's just bring this back a little bit. Yeah, we're actually touching this. Let's bring the opacity back a little bit. How did that look? Did we break that off too much? Oh no, if anything, I think I finally fixed it. Oh my god. That's beautiful, that's great. Alright, we'll bring down the saturation on these last two colors, and then that should be the crystals in place, and then we can take a proper eye to it. Fill and stroke, let's go. Gotta go switch layers back to the arcanine crystals. Right, because you've locked it. Yep, that makes sense. Nope. Locking. It's going to be the bane of me. I think I figured out how to properly use this wheel. Just dilute the yellow a little bit more too. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that for now. I like to regularly save until, because in the anticipation that my system inevitably crashes. What do we think? I don't know. I thought I'd like it if they were kind of pillars against the outer edge, but honestly I don't think it works. Maybe it's because they're slightly angled. I wonder if I de-angle them if it'll help. I don't think it will. See, the problem is I quite like the red, where the red is, right? And I'm orientating the rest around that red one. I just don't know if I can do that. I feel like it has to be, like, it'd still be symmetrical if I just reorient the rest and just brought them in a bit. Yeah, I think it's too close to the edge. It's too close to the edge. It's threatening to spill over. Okay, let's adjust them. Let's see what I like. I like them when they're re-angled. Is there an easier way to, like, angle this? Probably is, but yeah. Go back in the center there. I did not know I could actually order that around the point. That's pretty good. So I could put them in this space, right? gonna worry this just a little bit. Can I do anything? Alright, we're not gonna worry about making it even for now. Let's just have them. Let's just place them, see what they look like. Get them right sized up. And then just get them in the spaces, see what happens. For example, where do I want these? Because we got space here. Then I'm also leaving it kind of top heavy. And see, if I had all of the Arcanite, because there's actually 16, I've only got 8 here for the base 8 kind of thingy ones. But I wonder, if I had all 16, I can kind of have like the hierarchy up here, and I can have the lower levels down here. But with 8, how do you... maybe I should have all the good colors at the top, or all the like primary colors at the top. Have the rest of them at the bottom. Even within the base 8, there's a hierarchy of those who are associated with elementals and those who are not. Obviously, then I would have to have blue and green at top. So what would it be? It'd be red, blue, green, like yellow, right? Those are the 4 colors. Have orange, pink, grey, and brown at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could get rid of yellow. Oh, no, I'd have to have yellow. It'd be yellow and blue. I could have red, blue, yellow at the top, and the rest down below. Possible. Let's go with spreading them just a little bit more. Also need to scratch my back there. What if I put them just kind of equal distance, right? 'Cause it's not like they need to be symmetrical. Just put this, have it kind of like underpinning things. Because I can have it overlapping fine. I guess this would have to be like over here. This could also then be over here. Don't dislike it. I actually think I like it better than them at the outer edge. Maybe if I bling the blue up a little bit. Just kind of create like an actual circle. Okay, what if I actually take this damn red down as well? Because this red is the one that's like breaking it, right? I can have it... because this way it's still in the flame, right? If I actually bring it down just enough, that is kind of like sitting in the flame. Almost powering it in a way, when you say, almost amplifying it. I'm trying to find ways to justify liking this. Is this even? I thought I'd gotten these even. There's a chance I haven't. I just need more to the left. What's that? Not bad. Alright, if I create a circle here, I'm going to throw this, throw it to a new layer in a second. I want... I want a ring. Just use as a reference guide. There we go. Let's make a new layer for, I don't know, ring. Arcane ring. Yeah, arcane sound like. Put it below the current layer. Okay, then I just need to move the ring to it. Let's go ahead and move you to You move over here. And that way I can turn you off and on when I don't want to. And now that I'm actually on the ring, let's actually get this in. Actually get the width and size the same. Why does that not want to be symmetrical? Interesting. Right, because it's locked. That makes so much more sense when you think about it. There we go. Perfectly symmetrical ring. Oh, really? That's actually quite a lot. Like, higher up in the base than I was expecting. But I guess that's just because there's actually... No, I think it's just because it's smaller than it needs to be. There's an easy way to do this, of just like making it the size of the circle and then shrinking it. Yeah, I think that we can safe to say that's the size of the circle. What was my thought process there? I'm not entirely sure. Let's just like slowly shrink it. Until it got to the right size center-wise. Yeah, that'll do. Maybe if you moved like a little bit more to the right. Cool. And now you can place the Arcanite rings around it. Half tempted to... Actually, well, let's place the rings and then I'll place it. I'm kind of tempted to kind of leave it in there. Actually, it's not too bad. Maybe also make that silver too. But no, for now, let's actually just kind of place these on here. I should actually be able to line them up perfectly such that they're actually lined up properly. What's that? 92, 63, 92. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Let's just copy and paste it. Which one looks better? Technically this one. Here we go. Just make it perfectly symmetrical. Okay, we care about Y here, so it's 192. And we care about this being 192. But then we actually just want this down a little bit, say 15. Or say 14. Maybe 14.5. I don't think it's quite right. I just don't think anyone will really notice. Oh, right, 13.5. I'm going in the opposite direction. 13.5. Might as well get it mathematically symmetrical. Right, in theory this should be a quick calculation. I can just literally do the maths to figure out the actual distance between the two, right? Because it should be halfway between this one and this one. So this is the x-axis. You know, I'm going to make this just 92 for convenience sake. I'm gonna make this 92 for convenience sake as well. Perfect. This is the high point. Let's just make this 171. This sort of stuff doesn't matter. 171 minus 92 divided by 2 plus 92 gives an distance of 131.5. Really? Again, fascinating. It's never how you imagine it, is it? And then we want to do the opposite of this, right? So what is this? So we'll go from the middle here. This is 92 minus the 13.5, divide by 2 and add back to the 13.5. It's probably a quick way of doing this, but this will do for now. 52.75. $52.75. Alright, now we just need to find distance between the y's, and again for this we're just going to round this because the fractionals aren't going to make a difference. This is 142 minus the 63 divided by 2 plus the 63 is 100. And for this one we're going 102.5. Yes, I also just realized that just makes it equal distance between these 2 points. It's fine, we'll do a radial function out in a second. This at least just gets it lined up. Actually, no, I can just increase the distance, the xy at the same rate, and they'll get me the correct figure I want. It's probably a better way of doing this. But oh well. If there is, I can't bother thinking of it, and it's a Tuesday night. I don't want to think. That's my tag for the day. I don't want to think. Thinking's hard. What do you think this distance is? Like 20? 131.5 minus 20. I don't know why I'm doing that on a calculator. For now, I've got a calculator out. No, I want to add 20. We're going up. 151.5. Why we want a minus 20? So this will be 80. Interesting. For the x here, I want a minus 20 to go back to 30, and I want a minus 20 to also give me that 80. So we'll just want to keep the spacing correct. For x, I want to add 20. Yeah. For y, I want to add 20 as well. Bring back to the x here. Bring it down to 30. Bring this up to 200. Okay, now I just want to kind of tweak it a little bit here for the right ratio. So you want to increase the y and decrease the x here. So what if I just bring this down by 5, and I bring the y up by 5. What do we think? So that maybe. What do? We decreased it by 5, right? Oh, I don't think we decrease this. No, we decrease this by 5. We just copy this as well over here. Decrease this by 5. That's what, 196? 196. It's not bad, but I think we just want to... It doesn't have to be perfect. So we just take out so it's on the line. Same with this. We want to increase this by 5. And bring it in by 5. Similar with this. We want to increase it by 5. And decrease it by 5 for 196. And they just kind of want to tweak it. So I think it still needs to go just like a tiny bit up and to the left. See, this is when we start bringing it out of alignment. Technically we want to bring it down. No, because it should be on a radius to each other. What if we just increase it by 5? Ooh, how's that? Because they don't have to be perfect to each other. Maybe? Let's bring this up by 5 and see how we feel about that too. Actually, I think it's going to technically by 4, but well. Yeah. So how do we feel about that? It's not bad. So next thing I wanted to try was to actually bring... Actually, let's try this without it first. Yeah, I do think that's better. I do like that more than what we previously had. It's not perfect. But the other thing I wanted to try was with the arcane ring, but just bringing it under the primordial fire. Okay. What about above the fire but underneath the layering? So I do like the halo effect, but I like the fact that A is above it. See, under the fire, you don't see enough of it to get like the actual kind of focus central ring on it. What about different colors, right? Let's... Could actually adjust, unlock the ring. Gotta do the stroke, man. Could do black. White isn't good either. Okay, let's think about symbology here, right? Actually, it's 8 o'clock. We're gonna think about symbology after our next couple minutes break. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be right back after these non-existent adverts. And we're back. Let's do it. Gotta color in a ring. Gotta find the perfect color. And we're back once more. Let's go. Does it count if I'm the one chatting in my chat? Oh my god, what's this? There's somebody in the chat. Is that a Fenris Wolfie Bane I see?
Oh no, no riffraff, ban.
God, the riffraff have infiltrated us. You're just in time to help us pick a color for the ring in today's Alterra spoilers. We actually have semi-defined or designed a logo. It's actually not too bad. It's getting there. Now I just gotta figure out what color this is. Alright, we're thinking some form... Cognance number 1. That you are. That you are. We're thinking purple, but a slightly darker purple, so that way it kind of blends in a little bit with the purple background, but kind of gives a nice breakup to this kind of single red. What we're doing, Arcane Ring, let's go to strokes, have a look at my purples. Where are you? There's a purple in here somewhere, so just in blue, in red. No, it's in royal. I forget purple is called royal in this thing. Nope. That's no what we want. We want the stroke, don't we? It's shift, isn't it? Okay, if we shift it, okay. Alright. We kind of slowly turn it darker. Ooh, a dark green might be a good shout, actually. I had that. Oh, I also forgot. I'm supposed to add, like, wind elements to this. You know, now that I think about it, I don't actually know if I want the kind of, like, wind stripes that are supposed to come around. I think it might clutter it too much, so let's change that and add a bit of like emerald green to the line instead and see how that works. Go darker. Is it too dark? Let's like slowly line it, see what happens. Oh no. Maybe it's too... I think it might be too dark or too contrasting. I think it's just the heaviness of kind of the purple and the red there, that the green kind of throws it off. I think it needs to be a more kind of vibrant or light green. It's too sickly. What if we go lighter, almost yellowish green? Like I was talking about, it being too sickly, so we've gone with yellow green. That's definitely the solution. We should go full dark green. Nah. Unfortunately, I just don't like it. Maybe I'm just not a big fan of greens. I think this is more my prejudice against greens than it is actually it contrasting. Let's go back to the purples. See, I think I like that better just because of how much it kind of blends in a little bit. Oh, you know what would be nice if we actually split this circle down the middle, pure green, and actually put this to the back here. We can bring these flame decals forward, because you don't see it on this one just because the crystal's already in the way anyway. Ooh, maybe like a more lilac color actually. Move this a little bit. Don't know how I feel about it against the red, but it definitely looks nice against the purple. What do you think of that, chat? Do you think the kind of more lilacly purple against the red works, or maybe not? Maybe split the color down the center. Have the top ring be that kind of more lilac color. Have the bottom one maybe transition into a different hue. You know, actually, maybe it's time I learned how to properly do stroke style. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? How do I do a mesh? Is that a mask? No. We want fill style, right? Yes, we want mesh gradient, a linear gradient. How about for the fill? We do want it on the stroke. Okay, so we want the stroke style. Can we get... Yeah, here we go. So we have the linear gradient here. Can we have two gradients? Pattern, flat color. Okay, how do we assign a second color to this? How do we assign a second color to this? How it's there, see, it almost like blends into the background. Especially if, since we're going purple, we can have it kind of hue into red and maybe blue in the background. That's how you get it to be a solid color. That's not how you do a gradient. Can we add a color? Blend mode. Oh, there's a little plus here. Does this let me add a color? Create a duplicate gradient. Edit a gradient. How do we edit the gradient? Multiple. I'm gonna look this up real quick. How to edit a gradient online. Okay. Linear gradient with two colors. You can double click the gradient tool on the blue line that spans between the handles. Double click with the gradient tool. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Ah, well, I'm pretty sure that's gone to fill again. I like it does fill and stroke. Interesting. Oh no, where's my second gradient go? Oh, get back! So now I'm just playing around with the tool at this point. Go back to linear gradient. How to double click? It says double click with the tool. Actually, can I do multi-gradient? Can I have it be 4 different colors? That's pretty cool, actually. What about if I... Ooh. I'm the master of lightness and dark now. Okay, I want to reverse that. How to reverse that? I'm assuming there's an easier way of doing this, but I'm just gonna literally just thingy them up and down. Here, you go up here. Okay, that might actually be too dark. And I'm gonna... Not what I had in mind. Let's undo that. Ooh. You can fill up the entire A. I still want to do this the opposite way around. How do I do this the opposite way around? Go back and reverse. Because I want to, so that the flame is lightened and maybe it's coming darker from the top. Do I? And why does that occasionally just change? Radio gradient, mesh, pattern, and swatch. Could have it be different patterns? No, I think I want it to be not quite a mesh. Okay, so this allows me to have multiple now. Okay, yeah, let's now we have a rough idea of what we're doing. Let's actually delete all this now. And let's, yeah, so let's get rid of that. Let's try this again with the multi-tool. I think I accidentally deleted the entire circle. Let's bring that back. Okay, and I want to switch that around. Because I was playing around with the idea of it being on like the top side. Let's grab the circle. Create a linear gradient. So I only want this on the actual stroke here, not on the fill. So is there a different way to do it on the stroke? I mean, I assume I just delete the fill afterwards. But is there a way to add that second color? It's a gradient handle. Okay. So this moves it around. Can I move this? And this brings it down. What if I switch it up? Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. So it doesn't actually matter if it hits the circle. What difference does this make? Other than like kind of making the height. Okay, it does actually fill it in a little bit more. So if I do this, and this kind of has the second color here. Okay, so if I pull this up, I can effectively kind of make it disappear. If I pull the bottom one up a little bit too, from the bottom. So you can see here, I can do a faint line. I kind of want that faint line to potentially be a darker red, rather than the silver. This is where I need to figure out how to do a second color though. So if I double click the line, it's supposed to work. Do I double click the circle itself? Okay. Yeah, I only think that's for the fill. I don't think it's actually working. On the stroke itself. Just kind of want to have that bottom line just be like a little bit of a dark red, kind of like a blood red actually. Blood red would be good. But my idea was to potentially cut it in half anyway, so honestly I think I'm just going to do that. Let's just cut it in half and then I can just change the color rather than have to worry about gradients for now. We've got this in arcane rings. This is something. Actually, let's get rid of everything else so far. Goodbye, everything else. You can come back later. And you know what? Even the back. You know, I'm gonna leave the background just so I can actually see something. Got a little lip at the top. Now, I'm gonna remember how to do this. Let's do a rectangle here. You know, yeah. Let's get rid of the background there. And let's actually do a fill in there. Now I just need to actually do the rectangle. Nope. Should be little dots on the side. Oh, it's on the node fill, that's why. Let's actually make this a square because I need to cut it in half. Cool. Bring that up so it's about, what, midway? Is that midway? That's about midway. No, shift I'm looking for, isn't it? Shift that. Go to up half. And I wanna exclusion, division, break part. I think I just want to break part. Okay, let's try that. Is that broken up? not broken now. This one's always trial and error, isn't it? You know what? Let's just do division. There we go. Division at least knows how it works properly. Oh, did that create a center line? Alright, I did not consider the fact it would create another line. How do I do that so it doesn't create a line? I don't actually want a circumference there, I just want that to be a circle. Because it's not technically a ring, it's a circle. I wonder if there's a different way of doing that. Okay, let's try that one more time. Let's try one of the other ones. So that was division. What if we don't do division? What if we do exclusion? How does that work? It does not work. Right, okay, so exclusion won't work. I know one of these will do the thing I want. Make the center line the same color as the background. Center line... See, that's the problem, is I don't know how to make the lines different colors, which is why I was breaking them in the first place. Difference? Ah, yeah, because it's just making that a semicircle. I don't want it to be a semicircle, I just want it to be a circle. I just want it to be a line. You know what? Maybe I just recreate the bloody line. It'd probably be easier. I could create a line. I'm just going to create a line. Do I need a center point here? How do I... Interesting. Yep. In today's session of Inkscape tutorials, we're just going to recreate a line because it's easier than trying to figure out how to turn a sphere into an arc. Put it back up. And this one I do know how to do. I'm just going to create a duplicate. And, oh, no, I want to actually thingy that the other way around. Get rid of this. How do I delete this? Cut. I just want the rectangle to disappear. There we go. Rectangle, be gone. Bring this over here. Should be a flip horizontal button. Just integrate it. Bring that up. Yes, this is definitely a circle. I don't know what you mean. These are definitely connected. And then let's go ahead and actually get the stroke style and make this just a little bit thicker. Let's bring up to maybe a 1, maybe? So 1. Oh, I think a 1 works good. Well, it's kind of thick underneath, so maybe 2. Let's bring up to 2. What's 2 look like? 2. Actually bring this up and overlay it. Yeah, I think they got about that same shape. It's a little bit off, but I'll worry about that later. Okay, so let's bring this up to 2. I then want it to be a darker red, but that's fine, I'll get to that in a second. Let's actually get the underlining shape. Am I fine with that as a sphere? Yeah. Let's go ahead and I think we're actually going to move this somewhere else because I want to keep it in case I want it there. So I'm just going to throw it to the original design for now. Google my dumping site for things I'm not using currently. Go. Okay, let's bring this into the center and connect these up so that way it looks like a circle. It's going to be a little bit off at the edges. You know what, we can do something about that, can't we? Let's bring the node tool up. And let's kind of adjust this just a little bit. Let's pull these out. You know what, I can actually make this perfect. I'm going to make this the perfect circle. Perfect circle. Bring this... Get back my line there. Bring it down a bit to make the perfect circle. Yes. Same with this. Let's just pull this over here. We're going to use the actual rectangle as our guide. God, I hope this is in the center of the rectangle, otherwise this is going to be ever slightly awkward. But hey, just so long as the human eye can't pick it up. And that, Dream, is how we remake a circle. Ah, the workarounds. It's quite funny. Okay, let's bring back everything else to see how that looks. Actually, let's go ahead and color this in while we're here. Right, so top one we want it to be kind of dark. Nope, not you. Gotta remember to actually push stroke there. Kind of a teal, and we're gonna throw a mesh on this as well later. DIY that circle. For this we wanted a blood red, right? So let's have a look at our reds. Where's our reds? Here we go. And let's look for... I don't know, blood red's more in the darker end, right? Yeah, it's maybe like something borderlining on maroon there. Okay, we'll have to kind of mesh these together a second, but I think for now that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and bring back our background color. I just want to put a little smiley face and eyes now. It's a happy blood-infused circle. Let's go ahead and bring back our elemental flame. Oh, it's nearly perfect as well. Look at that. It actually hits into the edge of the flame. God, I love how symmetrical this circle is. Anyway, let's bring back our lettering and our crystals, which unfortunately now are ever so slightly off, which I'm going to have to adjust. Let's bring back our ring. Yeah, we're on a ring. Let's just pull this down so it actually goes through everything. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Ah, it's ever so slightly high, that's why. Okay, let's bring this down. Oh, and the crystals even mask where they join. That's beautiful. Okay, I need to actually pull the crystals out a little bit, I think. Mostly because it's going to bug me if I don't. It's probably just easier moving the crystals out than moving the ring back. What I need to do, I need to do this in the Y direction because we flipped it. So let's bring that back to a 2. And we need to throw this up by 1. Technically like half of 1. Let's add a 5 here. Okay, I'm pretty sure those are ever so slightly offside by like 0.5. I'm not going to worry about that. If anybody ever notices. How? Just as planned. See, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. And more importantly, what I can then do is I can rename this. We're going to call this the lower arcane ring. We're going to create a new one called the upper arcane ring. Because they're different shapes, I can throw them onto different layers. Nope, 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 can't cancel. I could throw this on the lower one. Oh wait, no, I created the upper one. I'm already on the lower one. Throw this on the upper one. Go and go. Move to upper. And hilariously, I'm pretty sure I'm actually going to place this beneath the lower one, because I didn't actually think about naming conventions there. Oh well. And that way, yes, we can see... It's actually not that obvious with how light it is, but the flame actually goes above it, just like the lettering does. Alright, let's throw a gradient on these and see what these look like. So I kind of want them to kind of meld together at the edges and not be so stark. But also I need to throw a gradient on this one anyway. What do we want? We want a radial gradient. Where's my circle? Where's the gradient line? Because I don't want them quite... Yeah, I kind of want it to be a faint whisper of a line. Just a trace, just enough there to like there to be something. No, I need it thick enough so that's like visible. So it's like a shadowing. I feel like this here is too dark. Maybe if we lighten it a bit. Yeah, I think that's too dark. Maybe lighten it just a little bit. Just don't. No, see, that's not what I want. I want the wheel. Here's the wheel. I need to just make it a little bit more grayer. So I want to saturate it with the color a little bit while still having it retain that kind of blood red image. I'm quite sure I did there, but I seem to have actually put 2 gradients on it. Okay, undo whatever I did there. Let's bring it back to just the 1 gradient. Oh, I can also throw gradients and all the other things, just give a bit of actual texture to it. I'll do that though in a second. Once I figure out how to do this goddamn red line. I'm gonna get your red line. It's the last thing I do. If I do linear, okay, maybe this is it. I just want to make that bottom one. Oh, okay. Yeah, a little bit more watery almost. If I pull it down, apparently that works. Yeah, because that way you can still see it on the edges, almost like, kind of like a slug trail, really. That kind of glisten, watery effect, while having it there. Maybe I want to make the edges just a little bit darker. If I pull this up, is that... Yeah, because that brings it more into focus while still keeping it there. And let's do the same with this one. Oh, we don't want dual gradient, we only want single gradient. If I pull this down? No. Pull this up. It should make it a little bit more pronounced there. I still think the bottom's a little bit too dark. Just this little bit here. Bring this down, does that kind of weaken it, the effect? Yeah. It weakens the effect, but I don't want to weaken the effect on the edges. Kind of want to just stretch this to infinity. What if I... Yeah, what if I just bring the alpha down a little bit? There we go, I think that gets me the desired effect. Okay. Let's go ahead and save that for now. And let's take a step back there. So So now we've got a nice little halo effect that kind of symbolizes both the connection between the Arcanite, but I also just think gives a nice little halo to the A, which is supposed to represent our soul and kind of celestial radiant aspect. Because we haven't really done anything for the celestial aspect, other than the A is supposed to symbolize the adventurer. Because we have those lines for the psionic. We have the flame, obviously, for the primordial. We've got the crystals for the arcane. So I think just, even while it's connecting the crystals, I think it's still just a good little halo effect. I quite like it. Alright, let's play around, since we've got a little bit of time left. Let's go ahead and play around with gradients on the main block color, right? Let's go ahead and lock everything down. So I think that gives us our general composition. Let's start with the elemental flame. Let's see what we can do here. Lock that, bring that into focus. And let's... do I just want to do a single one? I think I do. Ooh. What is this on? Is this on the entire flame? It's on the entire flame. Ooh, fascinating. I have no idea what I've just done there. Or why it's doing that. I guess because I've got it set to purple. Go full... It's just full purple. It's just purple and purple. Just Alterra's coloration is now just purple and purple. Now, what do I want to do with this? I want to give it... I just want to give it texture, right? I'm not too worried about the colors. Change that to blue or gold. That'll look amazing for the flame. Do we have gold? I think we've got gold in here somewhere. What's actually happening? Is it on the fill? Top part of the flame fading so the red as it gets lower. Yeah. I think it's because it's blending in with the background rather than into red. Is it this one? Okay, apparently me clicking on these doesn't actually do anything. I'm not quite sure. What if I click on it now? No, it just changes the entire thing. How do I change just the gradient color? Like, how do I change just this? So I change the name. I can add the name to it. That's the fill. Oh! What about this? Can I do this? No, stops, no. I will figure this out. Create linear, gray, create radio, create gradient. It's just gold flame now. Yeah, it doesn't... How do I change it so that it's going to a different color? Ooh. Did this do it? Did I figure it out? I just have to kind of good golden color. Where the hell do I find gold again? I guess just yellow. It's kind of golden. You can change the severity of it. Okay, maybe like that. What does that look like? It's not bad. Could be a bit more golden. But the fact is I finally figured out how to do a different color, so I'll take it. It's a start. So how do I do that? How do I repeat that? Oh, the eternal question. How do I repeat it?
Would I be crazy if I thought the world was fake? A game of simulation, aliens play from outer space. The players pick their religion, that's what starts the competition. Could be stupid because I watched too many movies. Maybe work is weighing heavy on my mind. Maybe I'm just sick and tired.
No, I think that's the best. Oh, probably just up the actual alpha as well. Probably help. If I bring that back to the center, that should give me a little tips effect. Okay, what do you think of that? I think that's as close as I'm getting to gold for now, until I figure out how to properly do colors. Maybe bring it down just a little bit. Yeah, maybe bring it down to this line here and have this line be the separating factor. Kind of just like this. It can symbolize the fact that Alterra gives out so much gold on just a daily basis. Alterra, come to Alterra. If you dive into the flames, you can retrieve the gold. Okay, that's not looking. This doesn't look too bad. I quite like that. Let's have a look at the background color next. And we're just going to. This logo is just going to be gradients. The gradient. I kind of want to do this the other way around, so that way. Although. Yeah. Oh, do I want to do that the other way around though? That's actually kind of cool. Kind of gives like a spherical look to it. Alterra, the gradient. I'm gonna leave that like that for now because I actually kind of like that. I want to kind of do it the other way around to symbolize the kind of, I don't know, light coming in. Not light coming in. Kind of the connection to the more silvery psionic plane. But for now, yeah, that's not bad. Let's do the A next. That is true. Especially because you have the flame coming up. The flame can be interpreted in multiple ways. I'm gonna unlock it first. Just how many different kind of stories can I tell with a single logo, I wonder? Did we unlock it? Yeah. Oh, it's because it's on the Psionic goddamn as well, isn't it? How did I make this transparent? Okay, I want to bring this into the center? No. It's also not what I want to do, is it? I wanted to do a mesh, I think. So I want to have it kind of patchy in places. With different colors. Yeah, I want a radio one where it would have kind of darker blues here and there. Kind of going from it's lighter teal to its more darker. I guess it's just still in gradient. Weird. Yeah, it's slightly dark areas. I do both. Now let's go back. Let you do this. Okay, alright, go back to the start so we can actually try to figure out how to get a radio fill on this, a radio gradient. So it doesn't sound like lines, right? So if we go double click on this, and if we go to fill and click radio, yeah, see, I'm back to figuring out how do I actually get the differing colors on this. So I click the button, it just goes back. What do these do? Darken. See, that's not bad, but I don't want it to go transparent. I want it to go dark. So the thing gets the idea. Just need to figure out how to get this other side of it. Do I have to use the wheel? That gives me half of it. So I had to get the second half. Alright, because I did on this one. Is it shift? Control? Is it... keep pressing every button until I find it. I also need to adjust the fill on this one to get it right. Alright, let me have a quick look at this, because there's definitely a way to properly get it. Okay, let's have a look at the gradients guide here. Okay, so to create gradient that has more than two colors, you can double click with the gradient tool on the blue line. And is this how I change the second line? It's also not changing the second line though, it's just adding a color in the middle, which, to be fair, is still pretty cool. Because it can give me something like this, which is actually kind of what I wanted. I just didn't want... Yeah, you know, I might be going too overboard with the gradient here. Although if I pull this out, this should get rid of the transparency. And just let me... Ooh. Yeah. Right, technically not what I wanted because I didn't want the transparency part. But if I pull it out far enough that there is no transparency, then hey, I've still gone to my destination, haven't I? This logo is just going to be transparent. Just going to be gradients upon gradients. Let's get rid of the fill on that one so it's just a line. Another that one. So this one? Yeah, get rid of the fill there. Go. Alright, task failed successfully. Then last but not least, since in our quest to over gradient God, there's going to be an art student out there who's going to take one look at this logo and be like, really went wild with the gradient tool there, I see. It's a very gradient logo. And to that I say yes. Yes. Because Alterra is a place on the gradient where you can get gritty survival campaigns set in the frozen wastelands of Gildros, all the way to a hyper-capitalist dream in the Copper City, built upon monstrous dealings, and everything in between. Wonder if I can find any art students and just show this to them. What are we doing? We're doing crystals now. Alright, let's throw in gradient crystals. And for this I think I just want shading, right? So how does one just do shading? I've kind of got the light coming in from this top right, I guess, so I guess I want kind of like a little bit of shadowing underneath. So in theory, since this is literally what the tool's actually set up to do, if I pull this just diagonally, if I extend this down, this should give me a deeper shadow. No, it doesn't give me a deeper shadow. Be great to hear the reaction. Okay, how's that? It's got a little bit of coloring in. What do you think? You think that's sufficient? Because it's got like a little bit of kind of, I guess, shading in that diagonal. I think it's enough for the eye to pick up on. Bless you. Let's do it to the rest for now and see if that works. Just put it over here. Bless you. I'm gonna pull into the center. Bless you. Interestingly, it's apparently really hard to shade pink. I also don't know if it's kind of got... I kind of want a harder shading line than just the casual gradient. Because I actually kind of want that classic diamond look. Actually, let's see if I can figure out what the hell I'm on about here. Diamond shading. Is that how that works? Diamond shading. Cartoon diamond shading. Need a reference point to figure out what I'm looking for here. Yeah, I think it's just normal shading. I think I just want it darker on the bottom end than I do on the top end. So maybe if I up. I haven't really got any shading on there. That might just be because of where I've got the lines. Interestingly, it's actually opaque for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Since I don't have opacity on. If I bring... just make it a little bit darker down here. How's the red look? Art Gobble. How's this look? Is this fine shading? Alright. What about this? More opaque. If I just angle it. Because now I actually have too hard a line there. Okay, I went overboard with the blur there. I was curious what the blur did. Crystal? What crystal? There's no crystal here. I don't know what you mean. If I just pull this out the other way. So I guess just it's the pink. Let's just do that for now. Hopefully the line itself won't actually be that visible. I think that looks fine. Let's go into the grey. I don't have all day. See if I can get some more colouring done on all of this. Gradients, the gradients. Let's go. Throw this over here. Throw this over here. Bring it to the center. Yeah, it makes it weirdly opaque. Huh. Fascinating. I guess I just need to pull this out, but I guess because it's going transparent. Which isn't really what I want. I just want it to be darker. It's that problem of it's trying to go... Trying to go to transparency instead of whatever else there is. Oh yeah, it's really visible in the grey. Can I just pull this like further off so that I lose all of it? Maybe if I do like, can I go a little bit black? Where's my or like a darker grey? If I go to this and just bring it down a little bit. Now see, now it just looks like the black one. I want it to be specifically grey. Otherwise it doesn't make sense from a lore perspective. Okay. No, let's just go with that. And even though this... It's also going to bring it down, I think, a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully the kind of pinkish underneath it will just make it look a little bit better. And to be fair, it is supposed to be crystals, so they are supposed to be ever so slightly transparent. So there's that. Alright, what we got? We have a couple more. Let's finish up the top ones, just because they'll have more light coming through them anyway. Zoom in here. Pull this over here. Pull this up to the middle. Nope. Oh wow, did I just reset it? I get it. Cool. Actually, let's bring this just like the fact it keeps resetting it. I just wanted to nudge it a little bit because I went overboard there. Okay, hold it. Still isn't like a flat color. Bring the orange up. Bring this out here. Towards the light. Too much towards the light. There we go. Throwing the green now, getting into a rhythm. Let's see what this looks like. Bring it to the center. Bring this towards the light. Not too close towards the light. Get back here. No, it's gone. I'm sure the one time it doesn't want to restart. Oh, I could just undo it. That makes so much sense. this down just a little bit. This was actually not as like obvious. Okay, that'll do it for now. Kind of see this little darker bit and this little light bit, which is what we're going for, so I think that'll do. Let's bring it onto the blue then. Let's bring the blue to the center here. And let's bring this towards the light. I think that works. Okay, and then finally we got the brown. Let's bring this towards the center. I want it to be just to the left of the center here, because we want to have it so it actually has a proper gradient. Not quite sure why zooming out there makes it green. Fascinating. But there's our shading to the crystals for now. The green will always find its way back. I still think I could do a little bit more shading on those crystals, because I kind of want to give it a sort of more 3D image, but that's a little bit more complex than I think my skills allow for right now. So I might have to look into shading practices on how to actually kind of get that effect, just so they're less 2D, and it does look more like they're a little bit more animated or a little bit more three-dimensional. But I think for now, that at least gives us that nice texture to not only kind of the three main color palette there of the background purple, the kind of red turning to yellowish gold flame, as well as the kind of more tranquil sea of lighter and darker blues there for the adventuring A. So I'll work on the crystal. Yeah, can you see the red one's really nice? The red one's come out quite good, but I think that's just because of the underlay of yellow there that's helping it. So maybe I might need to apply a couple stacked layers or something underneath the crystals so they have a solid backing. And then they come through more transparency, which I could do. I know how to duplicate them. But anyway, it's 9:15, and that's a project for another day. So, yeah, there we go, stream. This is today's stream of Inkscape logo design. We now actually have a somewhat good-looking logo. Well, I'm sure I'll tweak it here and there. I'm actually pretty satisfied with that final product. I can accept that. It's just... I'm just going to immediately go and upgrade or update all of the differing accounts with just this new logo now. And then just spam it everywhere. I should probably wait until I do the crystals. But honestly, is that something I want to do now? Or not now. Is that something I want to do anytime soon? Or am I content enough with that being a public-facing logo that I'm just going to use that? Because there's other things I want to get working on. In particular, I need a new background image to use for banners and such. So I think next week we might get started on banner design concepts. And then maybe come back to the logo in a future when my skills with Inkscape have gotten sufficiently better than they are today. Since... yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I'll sleep on it, see what I think. But yes, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining. Tune in for the various streams. Bane, go check out Bane's channel. I can definitely... I didn't even realize that Ben had joined. Hey, Ben. Does look much better, doesn't it? And my also camera decided to go blurry. So this is going to be our blurry exit. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.